Penguin Random House Audio presents The Last Collection, a novel of Elsa Schiaparelli and Coco Chanel, by Jeanne Mackin. Read for you by Sarah Mollo-Christensen. For Steve. The fashion world is no place for timid, dedicated souls. It is a field for strong, determined egoists who have an innate desire to impose their wills on the world. Wills of iron, disguised in rustling silks and beautiful colors. Bettina Ballard. I am not a heroine, but I have chosen the person I wanted to be and am. Too bad if I am disliked and unpleasant. Coco Chanel. Fantasy is a flower that does not flourish on passivity. Determination is what it needs. Elsa Schiaparelli. Part 1. Blue. Of the three primary colors, blue is most suggestive of paradox. It is the color of longing and sadness, and yet it is also the color of joy and fulfillment. On a ship, at night, blue water merges into blue sky, so blue is the color of places with no borders, no edges. If you throw salt into a fire, the flames will burn blue. Salt rubbed into a wound renews the pain, intensifies it. Seeing others kiss and embrace was salt in my wound, a blue flame burning the length of me. Blue best represents the contradictions of the heart, the need to be loved and cherished at the same time that we wish for freedom. Blue, the color of the Worth gown that the little girl Elsa Schiaparelli found in her Roman piazza attic, the color of the covers of the penny romances Coco Chanel found in the orphanage attic. Blue is what made Elsa Schiaparelli's daring color, shocking pink, so special. It is pink infused with blue, turning a demure blush into an electric surge. Schiaparelli turned girlish pink into the color of seduction by adding that touch of blue. And always, there is the blue of the Paris sky on a June day. Listen, I'm going to tell you a story about fashion and politics, and, of course, about love. The three primaries, like the primary colors. 1. New York, 1954. For you. Liz, the gallery assistant, handed me the telegram. Pale blue paper, bold blue lettering. I turned it over and over in my hands. During the war, we had learned to dread telegrams. The war was over, and whoever was coming home was already there, but dread remained, the fear of again reading those words, "We regret to inform you." "Aren't you going to open it?" she asked. "Of course." I hesitated. The only people I loved, those still left to me, were just a few blocks away, downtown. No telegram would be needed if something had happened to them. They were a local telephone call away. "Open it," I ordered myself. I sat on a packing crate and tore at the paper with my chipped fingernails, reminding myself that sometimes telegrams carried good news. It was possible. The message was brief. "Come to Paris. Need to see you. Signed, Scap." Elsa Schiaparelli. Of course, she would send a telegram instead of making a transatlantic phone call. It wasn't the expense of the call, but one of her many phobias and superstitions. She hated telephones. All the noise of the Madison Avenue gallery, the hammering, the whir of measuring tapes, the scraping of ladders being pushed across the floor, fell away. New York dissolved, and I was in Paris again. I closed my eyes and remembered the accordion player on the corner of Rue Saint-Honoré playing Parlez-moi d'amour. The throaty laugh of Scap as she shared a bit of gossip with her assistant, Bettina. Usually, it had been gossip about Coco Chanel, her arch-rival. Charlie, handsome in his tuxedo. Blonde bombshell Ania turning heads in the Ritz bar. The taste of strong café, the smell of yeasty bread, the colors, the gleam of the Eiffel Tower, the medieval miracles of rose windows in the churches. How long had it been? I'd been 25 when I met Schiap in Paris. She'd been 48, only 9 years older than I was now. And I had thought of her as old, though she never had. Women don't age if their clothes stay new, she had told me once. Grown women must never dress childishly, but neither should they accept age as inevitable. It is not in fashion. After the war, Schiap and I had gone separate ways, eager to get on with our lives, to return to what had been interrupted, to try to find what had been lost. Of course, there is no going back. Time is an arrow that flies forward, not back. I'd learned that particular lesson well. Too much looking over the shoulder turns you to salt, like Lot's wife. Salt which burns blue. Even so, why did Schiap need to see me? Why not just want, or even demand, as she was known to do? There had usually been a bit of drama in her messages, a bit of the self-importance and self-absorption often found in the personalities of the very driven, the very successful. She'd earned that drama, the very famous, some would say infamous, Elsa Schiaparelli, designer of the most beautiful, and sometimes most bizarre, women's clothing ever worn. Bad news? The assistant put down the wooden frame she was carrying. No, I don't know what it's about, I said, folding up the telegram and putting it in my pocket. Just from an old friend, in Paris. She gave an exaggerated sigh of relief. Mr. Rosenberg's gallery employee was a caring person, likely to give you a hug for no reason, to hold your hand if she suspected you'd had bad news. I liked that quality in her, and I liked how her hands, pale and slender, reminded me of Ania. Paris, I'd love to go there someday. You've been, haven't you? Yes, I've been. Oh, how I had been. We're just about done. Can we call it quits for today? I needed to think about that telegram, to decide. But the show has to be hung by Monday. She looked more worried than ever. It was my first show in the famous Rosenberg Gallery and was not to be taken lightly. I had been in several group exhibits and even sold some paintings, but if this show was well received, well, I'd be successfully on my way. Liz looked at the telegram I was still holding. Okay, she agreed. We can finish tomorrow. Go home. And that was what Schiap had said to me once, years ago. Life was breaking into repetitive refrains, pulling me back. The echo of her words didn't startle me, though. It was the echoed action of opening a telegram and reading those words that had. Come to Paris. Need to see you. Exactly what my brother, Charlie, had written 16 years ago. Of course I would go. Impossible not to, in both cases. As Liz began to clean up, I found a scrap of paper and began the list-making needed for any complicated journey made during a busy time. I'd stay for my opening reception, and then I'd take an airplane to Paris. An airplane. Before the war, the ocean had been busy with steamers toing and froing. Now, people traveled by air. It was cheaper. It was faster. Schiap had been one of the first to fly transatlantic, had loved the possibility of being in Paris for breakfast on Monday and New York for breakfast on Tuesday. Liz folded the stepladder and gave me another concerned look over her spectacles, always worn low on her nose, the way Coco Chanel wore hers when she thought no one was looking. Outside the gallery window, Madison Avenue throbbed with life. New York had recovered from the war. The shelves in the neighborhood delis were full, The window displays at Bonwit Teller, Macy's, and Henry Bendel were opulent.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?